Alright guys, if you watch one of my other videos, you guys would remember that I'm using one of these battery packs to power up the lights. And so I kind of was contemplating, where to actually put this battery pack. There's a spot over here on the left-hand side that I could probably fit this in, but the angles and such doesn't allow it to sit flat. I wanted to have a little bit more ability to access this when everything is put together from the engine cover. So what I ended up doing was, if you see this section, so this is the stock section where the Bandai light kit would sit, and it was actually a little bit higher on the back side here. But what I decided to do was to cut it flush with the front of this so that it's essentially flat. My original idea was that I would put a piece of styrene over the top and basically just have this sit flat like that, which can still work, but then I was concerned that how would I secure it left and right? I could put a piece of Velcro on the back or some blue tack or something else, but I didn't really like that idea. Then I decided, well, you know what? This actually can fit in like that pretty nicely. So you can see on the front side there, it tucks in right on the inside of that. And then it sits at a nice little angle. I can get access to the on-off switch there. I could also remove it, change the batteries pretty easily. So that's kind of what it looks like, and it's relatively secure in there, but there's still a couple more things I need to do. So we'll move this for now. And basically you'll see here that I had to remove that top section. I'm not sure if you could see this, but right there is a crack. And what happened was, when I was cutting this, I was a little bit aggressive and I wanted to take more of the plastic out in one snip than I probably should have. And so what happened was it cracked the plastic because there was no give, let's say. So let me show you the snips that I used. So it's these guys, wire snips. I use this to cut my wires and all sorts of cutting activities. For the Bandai plastic, it works perfect. But what I ended up having to do was to take relief cuts. So if this was the piece I wanted to remove, I basically took a lot of small little cuts along the way. At one point I even used a little saw just to cut some of those reliefs, so I didn't have that experience again. Not a big deal. Once it cracked, it didn't go all the way through. Just use some Tamiya extra thin cement and I was able to kind of firm that up. So that was repaired pretty nicely there. So the last thing I need to do here, which I guess I'll try to get this as much on camera as possible, but because of this side, this sits in here, but there's nothing holding this side of the battery pack in. So I'm going to build a little wall here, so then this can just drop in and it's more or less secured on 3 sides, and it'll just be able to slide out. So it makes it easily removable. So what I ended up doing was cut a piece of styrene. This will essentially fit right there, and this really is a spacer because the battery pack just overhangs the edge of the this piece here just ever so slightly, so then I won't be able to get a nice vertical wall put in. So that's will go in as a spacer, and then I have this piece, and I did add a little little extension there, and this will go on the outside here. So it'll end up looking like that. And then when the battery pack is installed, it'll essentially sit like that. And then the bottom part here, will end up capturing the battery pack in place. So I'm going to go ahead and get this part cemented in. We'll see how this goes. So I thought about gluing this piece to the other piece like this on the back side first, and then taking this and gluing it there. I decided not to go that route, so I'll do them one at a time. My thinking is that hopefully that'll give me better access to gluing this down in place. So this will be the first part. I'm just going to use a binder clip to hold it in place while I glue it together. Okay, so we'll let that set up just a little bit, and then I'll take the binder clip off, and then I'll do a little bit more with it removed. So I think that'll do it. Put this back on, and let that set up a little bit more, and that should do it for my battery box. And the nice thing here is, if for whatever reason I don't like it at an angle and I want to go back to my initial thought of having a platform, it'll be easy enough to put a flat piece of styrene over the top and then mount this just horizontally. But at the moment, I think I like this idea. It'll slot in very nicely, a little secure fit, and then there you have it. Alright, after a few minutes here of drying, this piece looks like it's all adhered. Looks like it's all dry, and then this is how the battery pack slides in. So very little side-to-side movement, slides in nicely, so it just kind of gets held in place. Depending on how I will mount this, I do plan on mounting this on a table, either on a tabletop stand or on a wall mount, and probably at some sort of angle. I might need to, secure this another way, but that should be easy enough. So that's it, guys. All right, see ya. Take care.